And welcome to another edition, special edition of Timeout Overtime on the Timeout Overtime YouTube channel. Uh, I was all set to present part two of my pre-draft preview tonight before news started coming hot and heavy out of Allen Park today. So I had to do a quick 180-degree turn. Uh, unless you've had your head in the sand all day, the Lions have extended two of their brightest young stars in Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell. And congratulations to both these young men. I'm sure they're very happy, as well as their representatives are. But as far as the details go, we'll quickly go into these because there goes my phone again. We'll quickly get into these because I don't really have a lot of time tonight. Like I said, unless you've been away from any news source today, Amon-Ra St. Brown got a 4-year extension worth $120 million. And you can kind of see this coming last week, and maybe a precursor to this, if you will, when the Philadelphia Eagles signed Devonta Smith, their premier wide receiver, to a 3-year contract extension worth $75 million, with guaranteed money of about $51 million. So you start thinking, well, no, wait a minute. If that's what Smith got, let's see, $25 million a year. St. Brown should be getting what, 27 or 28 mil a year, somewhere in that vicinity. No, the Lions made him literally the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL right now, for the time being, anyway. And obviously, that's going to change. So, $120 million for 4 years, with $77 million of that, folks. $77 million. Can you believe we're talking about this kind of money? Like it's monopoly money or something? Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy for all these guys, but how is the common, ordinary folk like you or I, how are we supposed to relate to this? No, it's good for them, but it gets down to TV revenue makes this all possible. So again, congratulations to both these young men. So where were we here? $120 million over 4 years, $77 million of this money is guaranteed. It's backloaded. You'll be getting $35 million the final year of this deal. But if anybody deserves it, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's only 24. Like I said, he and Penei Sewell, maybe the heart and soul of this offense right now. And I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't be happier for him. He's a great young man, great human being, great character guy. And hey, he struck it rich, as did his teammate Penei Sewell. So as of right now, and this is going to change. I can promise you it's going to change. As of right now, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. But you've got CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys, and not to mention Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. By the way, Jefferson, who has been skipping Vikings voluntary mini camps, he's been a no-show up to this point, expects to get paid. And the consensus is, I think, that he and CeeDee Lamb are right up there, along with St. Brown, in the top 4 or 5 wide receivers in the game. I fully expect, it wouldn't shock me if both CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson signed contracts, extensions that would pay them in the area of $33 to $35 million a year. And with a good portion of that, of course, guaranteed money. Is it getting out of hand? Sure it is. But the salary cap, keep that in mind too. That's going to continue to go up every year due to the increased TV revenue. This big bucks, folks. We're talking big bucks here. As far as the Sewell contract went, apparently before the Lions did this deal, they exercised the 5th year of his option before they did this contract. So he's actually locked up for the next 6 years. Gosh, and he's still only 23. He won't even be 30 yet by the time this contract is expired. Anyway, good for him. $85 million guaranteed money for Penei Sewell. He'll average $30 million a year over the first 3 years of the contract. And as I said, for the time being, he's the highest paid offensive lineman. I fully expect that to change. I really do. And anyway, now with Sewell and Brown both locked up, the Lions have secured their two biggest tent poles, if you want to call them that, of the franchise. And a new era of homegrown talent can begin under the reign of Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. By the way, the deal makes Sewell, as I said, the highest paid offensive lineman in football. And prior to that, the Texans, Laramie Tunsil, pardon me, was the highest paid lineman, about $25 million a year. But that news came out of Allen Park today. They're writing checks. You can't say the Lions are cheap now, can you? Oh. Congratulations to both these very wealthy young men. Their ship came in today. I was going to give you, too, 5 positions of need that the Lions would look at when it comes to the draft. That's going to be a little bit abbreviated tonight. But before we do that, I'd like to put in a good word for a good person, good man who, without his technical assistance, this production wouldn't be possible. That would be Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Howell Street, about 150 feet west of Howell. If I said Waldron, I apologize. I keep saying Howell Street. He's at 37 Waldron Street. That's what I have to get for not having a script to read from when I do these commercials. 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale, about 150 feet, 200 feet west of Howell Street. He's on the north side of the street, right on the alley. But any tech needs that you have, anything, computers, new computers, used computers, if the computer you have needs a little work done on it, not quite working right, take it in there. Tim will fix it right up for you. If you have a big screen TV, smart TV you just purchased, you need it mounted and programmed, Tim will fix you right up with that too. Anything. Printers, new or used. If you have any need for technical service, he and his assistant, Zach, they're in the store. Probably the two most tech-savvy guys in our area. So you can call him. Phone number is 517-610-5372. Or better still, get in there and see him. And when you do, tell him Rick sent you. Will you please? I'd appreciate that. Thanks. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, 5 position of needs Lions might look at tomorrow night or throughout the entire weekend when they're drafting. Then we have a little bit of time. I'm going to go through this kind of in a hurry because I want to go over Tim Twentyman of DetroitLions.com came out this morning with his final mock draft. I want to go over that quickly too. Anyway, positional needs for the Lions. And this is in no particular order either, but defensive tackle. I don't think, well, arguably right now, after signing DJ Reader, I think the Lions have maybe the best defensive tackle tandem in the league right now. But there's always room for more. They drafted Broderick Martin last year and moved up the 3rd round to take him. He, most of the games last year was a healthy scratch. They expect him to take a step forward this year and become part of that defensive line rotation. That's one area. Defensive tackle. Safety. The Lions have two pretty good safeties right now in Ife Melifonwu and Kirby Joseph. But that's about it. There's always room for more depth when it comes to safety. And again, I have other notes on that. I'm going to skip right over this because a little bit pressed for time delay. Offensive line. After signing Penei Sewell today, I think eventually, it's a pretty good guess. Not pretty good guess. We must assume as early as next year he'll be the starting left tackle. And this one thing, this draft is very deep in this draft class this year is offensive linemen. Versatile offensive linemen who can play center, guard, or tackle. And it wouldn't shock me if the Lions, with that first pick tomorrow, whether they move up, stay at 29, or trade down into the second round on Friday night, wouldn't shock me at all if their first pick is an offensive lineman. Wide receiver. You know, they lost Josh Reynolds. He signed with the Denver Broncos. They need a new X receiver on the outside, a bigger body that can stretch the field. And again, this draft class this year is very deep in wide receivers. Quarterback, CBs. Right now, I think with the loss of Cameron Sutton, your starting CBs are probably Davis and Amik Robertson. Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson. And after that, not a lot of depth. So that's another position Lions to look at. Kool-Aid McKinstry's name has come up a lot at 29. Look, I'll be surprised, very surprised. Again, obviously, I don't know anything. I'll be very surprised if they stay at 29. I expect them to either trade up or trade down. As Dan Campbell told the flagship station this morning, they're looking maybe at about 15 players that they've targeted. If they think one of those guys is worth moving up, they'll do that. On the other hand, as he said this morning, if the guy they're looking at or guys they're looking at are gone when it gets to 29, they're trading down. They're trading back into the second round. He just wanted to prepare everybody for that. Is that it? I think we covered just about everything. I've also got a list of 5 kickers who the Lions might be looking at here. And again, 6th round, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that drafted kicker in the later rounds to come in and compete with the Bashley. Number 1, Will Reichert out of Alabama. Cameron Little out of Arkansas. Harrison Menace out of Missouri. Spencer Schrader of Notre Dame. And the sleeper, Noah Rauschenberg of North Texas. Any one of those. Weichart name especially has come up in mocks for the Lions in the 5th or 6th round. Yeah, bring a rookie in. Let him compete with Bashley. Well, anyway, taking a look at this final mock from Tim Twentyman of DetroitLions.com. Let's just go over this in a hurry. Of course, number 1, he's got the Bears taking Caleb Williams. That's the pick they got, pardon me, in a trade last year with Carolina. Number 2, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. Number 3, the New England Patriots, another quarterback, Drake May out of North Carolina. Minnesota Vikings via a trade with Arizona, another quarterback, somebody we're familiar with, J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. Jim Harbaugh and the LA Chargers, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Ohio State. Wouldn't that be something if Jim Harbaugh's first pick with the Chargers is a Buckeye? It's possible. Anyway, that's what Tim Twentyman has down there. The Giants picking sixth, wide receiver Malik Neighbors out of LSU. Tennessee Titans picking seventh. Probably the best tackle, best offensive lineman in the draft, Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, and he's a good one. Probably the best tackle. Number 8, the New York Jets. Another great wide receiver, Rome Odunze out of Washington. The Bears picking it at number 9. Twentyman has them taking Olamino Fashanyu. I hope I didn't butcher that too much. The big tackle out of Penn State. Falcons picking 10th. Edge Dallas Turner out of Alabama. The Arizona Cardinals with the 11th pick via trade with Minnesota, taking edge Jared Verse out of Florida State. He may be the best edge in the draft. 12, the Denver Broncos, picking CB quarterback Terrion Arnold out of Alabama, who I think is probably the best corner in the draft. 13, the Las Vegas Raiders, quarterback Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. 14, the New Orleans Saints, tackle J.C. Latham, Alabama. 15, Indianapolis Colts, defensive tackle Byron Murphy II, Texas. 16, the Seattle Seahawks, offensive lineman Talise Fuago, Oregon State. 17, Jacksonville Jaguars, CB Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. 18, Cincinnati Bengals, tight end Brock Bowers, Georgia. 19, LA Rams, edge, Laiatu Latu, UCLA. 20, Pittsburgh Steelers, center, Jackson Powers Johnson, Oregon. 21, the Miami Dolphins, offensive lineman Troy Fontenot, Washington. 22, Eagles, their pick, defensive back Cooper DeJean, Iowa. I've told you before how I feel about DeJean. I'd love to see the Lions get him, but he won't be there at 29. They have to trade up to get him. 23, the Arizona Cardinals, via trade that they made with Minnesota. Bryant Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Dallas Cowboys picking 24th. Tackle Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Packers picking 25th. Offensive lineman Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Tampa Bay Bucks picking 26, wide receiver Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. And he's a good one. Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals picking again, this time with the trade with Houston. Pardon me, I hope I can get through this. Tackle Kingsley Sumatia out of BYU. Penei Sewell's cousin, by the way. 28, Buffalo Bills pick wide receiver Keon Coleman out of Florida State. 29, he's got the Lions taking offensive lineman Graham Barton out of Duke. Very versatile. Can play center, guard, or tackle. I'd be very happy if he was there when the Lions are picking at 29. I really would. I think that's about it. I don't see any need to go with the last 3 in the draft. I was just going to go up to where the Lions were picking anyway, and that's what Twentyman did. So before I lose my voice here, if I have a voice tomorrow night, I'll do a late night show after the Lions draft, or regardless of what happens, I'll do a show tomorrow night, provided I have a voice. Don't forget the Timeout Show Saturday morning at WCSR 92.1 FM. And I will, again, if I have a voice, I'll talk to you all tomorrow night after the draft. So long.